headlines for this hour on VTV News. Party chief chairs anti-corruption Central Steering Committee session. Younger generation big on preserving history. And in our news, South Korea, US, Japan established sea drill following North Korea launch a spy satellite.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello, it's 8 a.m. local time in Hanoi. You're watching VTV News. Party General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng on Wednesday chaired a session of the Central Steering Committee for Corruption and Negative Phenomena Prevention and Control to review the handling of number of cases under the supervision and direction of the Steering Committee and other important contents. More to follow.
According to the report of the Central Committee for Internal Affairs, since the 23rd session in January 2023, the fight against corruption and negative phenomena continues to be enhanced consistently and effectively at both central and local levels. The progress of investigation and handling of cases basically meets the set plan. The functional agencies have proactively detected, investigated, and prosecuted many new defendants in major corruption and negative cases, especially violations related to several ministries, departments, and localities, both in the state and non-state sectors, and recommended the prosecution of cases at Việt Á Company, FLC Group, Tân Hoàng Minh, and Saigon Cooperation. From the beginning of the year until now, various ministries, sectors, and localities have transferred 480 cases with signs of criminal behaviors to relevant agencies for investigations and processing in accordance with regulations.
We should further enhance the fight against corruption and negative phenomena in an effective manner. This fight needs to be carried out over the long period. There are still many tasks to do to tackle corruption and negative phenomena. Therefore, we should improve our capacity in researching laws, mechanisms, and policies to devise efficient measures. Many officials during their work have made significant contributions. Additionally, we also need to focus on developing laws, stepping up inspection, supervision, handling of cases. At the same time, we should propose directions for this long-term fight.
Regarding the tasks in the coming time, the Standing Steering Committee requires party committees, organizations, and functional agencies to completely handle serious cases of corruption and negative phenomena. Speaking at the meeting, General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng also indicated shortcomings in the anti-corruption work.
I suggest that we need to handle cases resolutely and completely. We should not give up on cases halfway through. In reality, there are some cases that we left unfinished. This shows the loopholes and inadequacies in the anti-corruption work. We must overcome these shortcomings. The need to address and overcome these shortcomings is crucial to ensuring the effectiveness of the fight against corruption and negativity.
At the meeting, the Standing Steering Committee also requested the central litigation agencies to strengthen inspection and direct local authorities to remove difficulties and obstacles in the investigation and handling of corruption and negative cases, especially cases that are monitored and directed by the Central Steering Committee for Corruption and Negative Phenomena Prevention and Control.
National Assembly deputies on Wednesday mulled over and gave opinions on debatable contents related to draft revised law on organization of the People's Courts. More to follow.
The People's Court will be organized according to its jurisdiction in line with the draft law. As a result, the current district and provincial courts will be replaced by the first instance and appellate People's Courts. This change will ensure the independence of the court in the trial process. However, there are still differing opinions among deputies regarding this regulation.
It is necessary to further consider renaming the Provincial People's Court and District People's Court to the Appellate Court and First Instance Court, respectively. Regarding the establishment of specialized first instance courts, we need to carefully assess the impact.
The People's Court is the judicial agency of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam, indicating that the court exercises the adjudicative authority of the state. Furthermore, the court operates under procedural jurisdiction, so it is reasonable to organize and regulate the court according to the first instance and appeal levels.
In addition, regulations on evidence collection in the trial process, a new content compared to the current law, also received much attention from the deputies.
In criminal cases, when evidence collection is insufficient, the court has the authority to return the case for supplementary investigation.
Each party can gather evidence favorable to itself and conceal evidence that is unfavorable. Therefore, people turn to the court for adjudication. Only the court can issue orders for the banks and state agencies to provide information, so that the court can gather adequate evidence for a case and issue a fair judgment for all parties involved.
At the discussion session, deputies also gave their opinions on provisions regarding inspection and examination during the trial process, regulations on specialized first instance courts, and regulations on ranks of judges.
Vietnam will wholeheartedly support Laos in successfully fulfilling its international responsibility, including its 2024 ASEAN chairmanship. This affirmation was made by State President Võ Văn Thưởng at his November 22nd reception for Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of Laos, Salum Say Komasit, who is in Vietnam to co-chair the 10th Vietnam-Laos Foreign Ministerial Level Consultation. State President Võ Văn Thưởng lauded the success and meaning of the consultations, which he said contributed substantially to enhancing the great friendship, special solidarities, and comprehensive cooperation between the nations. Laos Deputy Prime Minister Salum Say Komasit took the occasion to express his gratitude to the Vietnamese party, state, and people for consistent supporting and standing side by side with the Laos party, state, and people. Both hosts and guests were pleased with bilateral cooperation achievements obtained recently, particularly the side's close coordinations as well as increased high-level exchanges and mechanisms for joint work. Receiving Governor of Kuga Province, Russian Federation's Vladislav Savcha on Wednesday, State President Võ Văn Thưởng emphasized Vietnam values the traditional friendship and the Vietnam-Russia Comprehensive Strategic Partnership. State President thanked the governor for creating conditions for cooperative projects between the two sides and emphasized that the potentials for cooperation is still very large, suggesting that the two sides further promote cooperation in trade and investment. He hopes that Kuga Province, with a close relationship with Binh Thuận Province, will soon have many measures to promote tourism cooperation, especially when Binh Thuận owns beautiful and attractive scenery for Russian tourists. For his part, Governor Vladislav Savcha said that Kuga has strengths in the automobile industry, wood processing, and high-tech agriculture, and is ready to cooperate with Vietnam in these fields. He also said that the province has cooperated with Vietnamese partners in cow milk production, and the long-term goal is to supply products to Vietnam and Asia-Pacific. On Wednesday, at the reception with Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of Laos, Salum Say Komasit, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính affirmed that Vietnam prioritizes the unique friendship between Vietnam and Laos. In the coming time, the Prime Minister proposed that the two sides continue to support each other in building an independent and self-reliant economy, strengthen connections and connection between the two economies, especially institutional, financials, and transportation infrastructure connections. The Prime Minister asked the agencies of the two countries to well coordinate to organize the 46th meeting of the Vietnam-Laos Intergovernmental Committee, the Summit of National Assembly of the three countries, Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, and affirmed that Vietnam will provide maximum support for Laos to successfully assume the chairmanship of ASEAN IPAR 2024. For his part, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of Laos respectfully thanked Vietnam for its valuable and impartial support and assistance for Laos. The Laos nation leaders highly appreciate Vietnam's economic development, possessed with high growth rate. The Deputy Prime Minister completely agreed with the cooperation orientations that Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính discussed. He affirmed that he will coordinate closely with the Vietnamese side to cultivate the special relationship between Laos and Vietnam to become increasingly stronger and more effective. On Wednesday, Politburo member, permanent member of the Secretariat and head of the Central Organization Commission received Deputy Chairman of the New Azerbaijan Party, YAP, and head of the YAP Central Office, Tahir Budakov, in Hanoi. At the reception, she emphasized that the visit and the signing of the cooperation agreement between the Communist Party of Vietnam and the New Azerbaijan Party is an important milestone, contributing to strengthen the traditional friendship between Vietnam and Azerbaijan in general and between the two parties in particular. Deputy Chairman Tahir Budakov affirmed that Azerbaijan considers Vietnam an important partner in the Asia-Pacific region. He also affirmed to actively coordinate with Vietnam to effectively implement the cooperation agreement. Vietnam's internet industry is expected to lead the regions in the next 3 years with a projected value of $49 billion by 2025. The new generation internet infrastructure will facilitate an exponential growth of artificial intelligence and cloud computing. These are among the key takeaways of the Vietnam Internet Day 2023 held in Hanoi on Wednesday.
The Internet Day 2023, themed Internet Vietnam, new spaces, new opportunities introduced outstanding technological achievements Vietnam has made in recent years, including the cost-saving virtual assistant for content creation and the time-efficient automatic website developer. This year's Internet Day discussed 4 highlight fields of technology, namely artificial intelligence, cloud computing, e-commerce, and cybersecurity.
In the future, the internet will have to be accessible to the entire population and improve their lives. They will all be benefiting from internet.
The growing prevalence of internet has helped boost the country's economic development over the last 25 years. A Google report noted that Vietnam has the fastest growing digital economy in Southeast Asia. This has been a strong rebuttal to some international organizations' claim that undermine internet freedom in Vietnam.
If the internet were so restricted in Vietnam as some have claimed, we wouldn't enjoy this major development today. Vietnamese people have constant access to internet, and it's helping them in every way possible.
With nearly 80 million internet users, Vietnam is currently attracting billions of dollars in investment from the world's leading technology firms. More breakthroughs are promised for the country's tech industry as giants such as Nvidia, Meta, SpaceX, and Foxconn are eyeing the domestic market.
More technology being developed will fundamentally change the way business and society operate. Businesses will be given more growth opportunities and productivity boosts.
The Ministry of Information and Communications said it has submitted the Information and Communications Infrastructure Planning to the government. The Grand Plan established the vision, orientation, and specific goals for the internet economy until 2030, with a vision to 2050.
Coming up next on VTV News, younger generation big on preserving history. And Dallas City hosts 23rd Vietnam Film Festival. Welcome back to VTV News. Vietnamese traditional medicine practitioner Hải Thượng Lãn Ông Lê Hữu Trác has been honored as an eminent personality by the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO. The UNESCO General Conference on Tuesday passed resolutions on the list of eminent personalities and historical events commemorated in 2024, 2023, 2024 at the 42nd session in Paris, France. The year 2024 will mark the 300th birth anniversary of the Vietnamese talented medic. The UNESCO's recognition of Hải Thượng Lãn Ông Lê Hữu Trác is the acknowledgement and appreciation of the international community for the famous physician's contributions to society and the community, especially the humanistic ideologies of living for everyone and the spirit of lifetimes of learning, which are the values that the organization is promoting. The resolution was passed by all UNESCO members, showing the clearest affirmations of the great contributions of the Vietnamese people in the fields of education, health, culture, and society, and demonstrating their spread of talent and intelligence in the international arena. Today, November 23rd, is Vietnam Cultural Heritage Day. This day is chosen specifically to raise public awareness of national heritage preservation and promotions. So much has been done in the quest to preserve national heritages thanks to the evolving contributions of young people. They have been active preservers of Vietnam cultural identity. They also fortify their sense of patriotism and national pride. More to follow.
These patterns seen on centuries-old heritage sites have been now a source of inspiration for this young artist. He takes his research seriously and put himself in a painstaking journey to collect artifacts from the Nguyen dynasty. All efforts are for his creations to best reflect historical and cultural elements. Each pair of shoes in his collection was made to honor and promote Vietnamese cultural values to younger minds.
I majored in architectural design in Monash University. During one of those old visits I made to Australian museums, I didn't see a single piece of Vietnamese clothing. That was my call to promote history through heritage-inspired fashion items.
Many attempts have been made in the research and restoration of traditional Vietnamese costumes. However, it wasn't in the limelight until more young people decide to devote themselves to the work. In fact, young people are the most enthusiastic ones when it comes to researching and recreating traditional culture in the past decade. Most recently, a group of young people in Hanoi have revived the ancient sport of archery with the birth of the Long Ton Archery Group.
When I was young, I used to watch battle dramas on TV and read Vietnamese history books. I would come across many famous Vietnamese heroes described as being talented at archery, and that piqued my interests. Vietnam has more than just costumes or cuisine. We have a grand history of building and defending the country, and that comes hand in hand with the art of military strategy. Therefore, it is an honor to introduce these products to the Vietnamese people as well as international friends, and we are aware of our responsibility to preserve and promote the culture.
Gathering the fragments of history requires efforts and patience, and young people have what it takes. They have shown their genuine dedication to cultural preservation.
A country might risk losing its heritages if its people are oblivious to the preservation of heritage values. Equipped with knowledge and skills, today's young generation has been contributing to preserving and promoting the value of Vietnamese heritages.
There are 2,124 communes across the country that have not achieved the new rural development criteria. Specifically, the northern mountainous regions is assessed to have the largest gap, with 16 poor districts that haven't met the standards to be recognized as new-style rural areas. In Sơn La Province, local authorities have deployed practical measures to support disadvantaged districts in their transformation. More to follow.
Since 2018, this fruit-growing cooperative was established with 11 members and nearly 30 hectares of citrus fruit trees. As a member of the cooperative, this farmer tried to keep pace with cutting-edge technology and standardized procedures. In addition to installing an automatic irrigation system and a misting system, he also adhered to the production process according to VTVgo standards.
Traders in provinces like Thanh Hóa and Nghệ An come directly to my orchards to import my products. I also distribute my products to nearby areas around Phie district.
The income of cooperative members has significantly increased. The average annual income of our cooperative reaches nearly $83,000.
Thanks to a focus on increasing income for farmers, Mường Cơi commune in Phie district has achieved the new rural development goals earliest. This success serves as a momentum for other communes to follow suit.
The locality has also attracted 3 large factories, providing stable jobs for over 3,000 residents. This serves as a driving force for the district to build a better new rural area.
An 11-hectare banana plantation utilizing tissue culture technology, along with processing workshop applying advanced cold drying technology. These advancements represent changes that people in Phie couldn't have imagined 5 years ago. Consequently, building a new rural area in these disadvantaged areas means transforming the daily lives and income of local residents.
To celebrate Vietnam's Cultural Heritage Day on November 23rd and commemorate the upcoming 100th anniversary of the discovery of the Đông Sơn culture, the National Museum of History has opened a thematic exhibition titled Reverberations of Đông Sơn. The exhibition features 90 artifacts, including parts of the bronze drums, molds, bowls, and vases. Of particular interest in the first ever successful recreation of the bronze Đông Sơn drum using ancient methods based on the study of 1,000 mold pieces found in Luilo. This exhibition showcases the vibrancies of Đông Sơn culture and shed light on the bronze drum casting techniques from 2,000 years ago. Visitors can enjoy the exhibition until the end of April. The 23rd Vietnam Film Festival officially kicked off on Tuesday, taking place for the first time in the resort city of Đà Lạt, located in the Central Highlands province of Lâm Đồng. This event aims to recognize exceptional cinematographic works of filmmakers and artists in the industries and will include a variety of activities. A total of 91 top films have been selected to compete for the Lotus Awards, which will be presented during the film festival.
Over the past 2 years, the quality of Vietnamese films has improved, and there has been an increase in the number of Vietnamese films released for commercial purposes compared to 2 years ago.
The highlight of this year's festival is the creativity of Vietnamese filmmakers and their storytelling in modern cinematic arts. The films this year cover a diverse range of topics, and many beautiful characters that represent the beauty of Vietnamese souls have been showcased.
Over the years, directors, writers, and actors have demonstrated professionalism and innovative efforts in composing, producing, promoting, and releasing films.
I admire the performances of Vietnamese actors. Their acting skills greatly impress me.
This year's event, themed Building the Vietnamese Film Industry, Rich in National Identity, Modern and Human, include a free screening week in major cities, a program showcasing award-winning movies by Vietnam Television, seminars on copyright protection in film industry development and key issues in building the Vietnamese movie industry, and an exhibition titled Đà Lạt City, Source of Cinematic Inspiration for Filmmakers.
Coming up next on our news, South Korea, US, Japan establish sea drills following North Korea launches by satellite. And worsening sanitation in Gaza, perfect storm for tragedy according to the United Nations. South Korea, the United States, and Japan have discussed joint naval exercises near the Korean Peninsula. This came following North Korea's first launch of spy satellite on Tuesday. Accordingly, the South Korean and U.S. navies will join the Japanese Maritime Self-Defense Force in the drill. The trilateral exercise involves the aircraft carrier, the USS Kuga Province, that arrived at a port in Busan City, South Korea. The South Korea-U.S. exercise is scheduled to take place on November 25th, while the trilateral one will take place on November 26th. Earlier, the North Korea National Aerospace Technology Administration said it successfully placed its first spy satellite, the Maligong-1, in orbit from the Sohae satellite launch facility. North Korea state news agency KCNA said the launch of the reconnaissance satellite is a legitimate right of North Korea to strengthen the country's self-defensive capabilities and enhance military preparedness. The United Nations warned on Tuesday that fuel shortages and worsening sanitation in the Gaza Strip could lead to a spread of disease, shaping up the perfect storm for tragedy. According to the World Health Organization's WHO, about 160 children die every day in Gaza, while the United Nations Children's Fund (UNICEF) warns that this number could increase sharply. The WHO estimates that the average person in Gaza is currently consuming just 3 liters of water per day for drinking and sanitation, in stark contrast with the minimum of 7.5 liters recommended by the agencies. The UNICEF spokesman also warned that if access to water and sanitation in Gaza continues to be restricted, a tragic surge in the number of children dying is foreseeable. In addition, hospitals in northern Gaza are now completely out of service as of November 20th. This has worsened since last week, when 10 out of 36 hospitals in Gaza were still in operation. The U.S. Federal Reserve officials agree at their last policy meeting that they will keep interest rates steady to control inflation. In the minutes of the gathering release on Tuesday, Federal Open Market Committee's members said policy will need to stay restrictive until data shows inflation bounces back to the central bank's 2% goal. Earlier, the U.S. Federal Reserve said it would hold benchmark interest rate steady at its current 22-year high. While the U.S. economy has experienced a strong rebound, annual inflation remains well above the Fed's annual target. Therefore, the agency would proceed carefully until inflation rate cools. And now, as usual, let's continue with the weather forecast. And that's it for this hour on VTV News. To rewatch our program, you can log on to VTVgo.vn or download a mobile application VTVgo. Thanks for watching and goodbye for now.